Everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Garrett the Investor. If you're new to the channel, thanks so much for watching and welcome to this awesome community. If you like the content that I'm putting out today and you get some sort of good information from it, which I hope you do, make sure that you turn that little thumbs up blue and also subscribe for future content so that you can keep up on the entire journey. Now, in this series, I will be taking you on my personal journey towards financial freedom and success, and we'll be covering all the major topics that are the fundamental building blocks of my journey, including personal finance and development, financial investing, and business. Now, today is a really special and exciting day. I'm going to be giving you private insight into my daily routine that I've developed over the past 3 years. And I've developed this really through trial and error. And I've really taken some of the fundamentals and the routines through mentors, books, and personal development coaches such as Tony Robbins, and then kind of implemented those into what you will see today. It really kind of breaks down into 5 different phases for me. The first phase is apple cider vinegar and lemon water hydration. Phase 2 is Tibetan 5 rites. Phase 3 is cold shower and learning. And phase 4 is setting the vision for the future and for the day. And phase 5 is goal planning, goal setting, and time blocking. So let's go. All right, so just kind of walking to the kitchen right now so that we can start it. All right. All right, so what we have here is we have apple cider vinegar. It's my trusty apple cider vinegar. I actually bought this based on the coronavirus, and I wanted to just kind of take you through the process of phase 1, which is really just taking a shot of apple cider vinegar and having some hydration. I'm going to drink an entire bottle of lemon water. So as you see here, I have cut lemons just to kind of save a little bit of time. Okay, so I'm going to fill up my water bottle. All right. So I just take the water bottle, squeeze in some lemon. Okay. Throw a lid on it. Shake it up. Now I'll explain why this is so important, why this is a critical part of my routine, and really it's the first thing that sets the rest of the phases up. So take this. Now for those that don't know why I'm taking a shot of apple cider vinegar, it's real nasty stuff. But there's so many different health benefits. For all of these different phases, I'm going to leave a link below so that you can kind of get into a little bit more detail on each individual phase. Now, because it's so disgusting, I try to chase it with the lemon water because it's the only way I can really get it down. So here we go. Cheers. Yeah, it's really potent. It's disgusting, but I'll tell you what, the futuristic benefits of it is so very helpful. Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do phase 2, which is the Tibetan 5 rites. Oh man. Okay, so let me get positioned here. Now, really what I do is I'm not feeling so well. Wow. All right, so what I do is before I do the Tibetan 5 rites, I get myself situated, and I typically put in my headphones, and I listen to what's called binaural beats. There are so many different benefits of binaural beats, which I'll kind of take you through them. But and before I also do the Tibetan 5 rites, and I'll explain the whole thing to you. before I do this, I actually put on some sort of aesthetically pleasing video, typically 4K. So I will do that right now. Okay. Now I don't watch this, but what I really do is I kind of put it on as, background. Sometimes I catch it in my peripheral. So I thought right now is a good time to tell a little story on the Tibetan 5 rites. So why do I do the Tibetan 5 rites, and where did they come from? So really the Tibetan 5 rites stemmed from back in the 1930s. There was a gentleman named Colonel Bradford, and his troops were stationed in a small town in Tibet. And as he spent multiple years at that station, he started getting to know the different local monks and the different groups that were there. And through getting to know them, he realized that they had discovered what was called the Fountain of Youth. Now, the Fountain of Youth was said to kind of reverse and stop the aging process, and has a bunch of different mental, spiritual, and also physical benefits towards them. So I kind of looked into all of this, and while he was there, he was so enamored by the culture and the people that were living, those different monks, that when he retired from the army, he actually went back to Tibet and spent years and years and years learning their teachings. And what he found was that these Tibetan monks that were sometimes even, few years or years beyond 100 years old, and he wanted to figure out why, how did that happen? And mind you, it was 1930 when all of this happened. So, to live beyond 100 years is unheard of, in that type and that climate. So really what he did, he started learning, they started giving them their teachings, and really it kind of boiled down to 5 different exercises done 21 times in repetition. And they did this throughout the course of the day. And this was also later storied by a gentleman named Peter Kendler. And the links are below for this. Okay, hold on. So this is all happening in sequence, so just bear with me. But this was also storied by this gentleman named Peter, which he wrote a book about it in 1939, who's actually still alive today. And long story short, it was said to reverse aging properties and make somebody live a bit longer. So ultimately, here's kind of why I've created this routine. This has helped me to gain clarity, focus, and drive and motivation for the course of the day. So this is why it's so very important that I do this every single morning. Now here, I'm going to actually go back, and I'm not going to actually do these Tibetan 5 rites, probably because I am currently in my boxers, and believe me, nobody wants to see that. But I'm going to actually show you in a video of what these Tibetan 5 rites are and kind of the movements that you do. Okay, so here's the video. This video was actually sent to me from my buddy Eduardo. Shout out to you for sending this to me. And yeah, I mean, it caught my attention, pretty right off the bat. And I've been implementing this for the last, 3-4 years. So these are the different movements. This is her kind of talking about it. All right, so movement number 1 is the spinning. Okay. Movement number 2, and this is kind of like the transition movement, is when you kind of bring it all together. Now, this is a form of meditation, but you'll kind of recognize some of the poses in yoga if you ever have done that. Okay, so that's the transition. And then here is kind of the exercise number 2. Okay, lay flat on your back. You kind of just like lift your legs up, bring yourself to it. Okay, and then we go back and we do that transitionary pose right here. Okay, kind of bringing everything together. Okay, then this is pose number 3, or exercise number 3. So at this point, you've already done the spins 21 times. You've already done the kind of leg lifts 21 times. And then you do this 21 times. Followed by that transitionary pose that we talked about, where you kind of bow and bring your hands together as if you're praying. And then this is exercise number 4. Okay. All right. I've never actually done this. Like I said, I'm doing this all in real time. Okay, this is, I believe it's the downward dog. Comment below if this is the right pose or if you've ever done it before. Where you kind of like arch your back up, right? And then you kind of go right down, stretching the back. And then you follow this up with that transitionary pose right here. Okay. So that is that. Really the key here in what I've been able to take away from this is that what it's supposed to do is line the chakras together and keep everything moving at the right frequencies that they're supposed to be at. And man, this is so helpful. After I feel unbelievably clear and so motivated for the day. It just allows me to kind of deal with life stresses, and it doesn't matter what kind of is thrown at me throughout the course of the day, whether it's talking with my customers or negativity from people. It's so very important. So really where it comes down to kind of getting back to the binaural beats, because it all really ties in together, right? So the binaural beats allows you, in each kind of section of it, allows for different purposes, and it allows you to kind of get those different chakras aligning and moving in the right direction at the proper frequency. So I listen to the binaural beats, and I actually do that with the 4K video that I showed you in the background. And then here's the binaural kind of beat therapy, or BBT. You've got delta, and really delta, and everything is measured by hertzes, right? So I know you're thinking this is like witch magic or whatever you may call it, but this, I'm telling you, there's some truth, there's some science behind it. So these are the different hertz, and this is the way it's measured by. You've got your delta, which is 1 to 4 hertz. This is really great for sleep and, you know, the initial relaxation, for pain relief, stress management, which actually increases DHEA and reduces the stress hormone cortisol. Then you have theta, which is 4 to 8. And the way I use delta is right before I'm ready to go to bed. Kind of relaxes the nerves, like maybe an hour, 2 hours before. And then I go into, you know, here's theta, which is 4 to 8. This is really great for sleep. And you get deep relaxation, meditation. This boosts creativity, which is really great during a sleep state, like REM sleep, which is restless eye movement. And then you go into alpha. Alpha is 8 to 14 hertz. And this is really great for relaxed focus, reducing stress, positive thinking, which is huge. And then kind of added learning and get you in the flow state. The alpha is what I stay in most of the day. So I'm actually, you know, while I'm like setting up for the rest of the day, I have my headphones in and I'm going through each individual one. Alpha is what I spend most of the day on, just to keep that positivity, especially in the morning. And then you've got beta, which is between 14 and 30 hertz. And this is really great for learning and retention, increases cognition, and increases problem solving. I like to do this when I'm quoting technical solutions for my customers. Really allows me to kind of think outside the box. Really great for songwriting. I'm also a songwriter and a musician. So I like to listen to that while I'm coming up with cool ideas, and then also entrepreneurial ideas such as, you know, YouTube and business plans, things of that nature. And then the last one is gamma. And gamma is between 30 and 100 hertz. And this is really great for information processing. Again, increases cognition and gives you overall state of awareness. So that is phase 2, kind of in a nutshell, with the binaural, with the Tibetan 5 rites. Now, Now I'm here, right? I need to take a shower, right? And I need to, well, So really, I don't take just any shower. I take a normal shower in the beginning, but the last like 30 to 45 seconds, I turn it completely cold. It wakes me the heck up and gets me just ready to tackle anything. So, and I like to always have my clothes ready. This is my carnivorous gear. And I've got obviously my trusty sweatpants that I've been wearing for the last two weeks. And here's the thing. I treat this time of just getting ready to learn as well. So I typically put on an Audible or some sort of podcast, and I just kind of go so I can learn and kind of multitask while I'm doing these different kind of monotonous tasks. And here's a healthy tip, right? If you put your phone in the sink, like I am right now, you actually create kind of a reverberation chamber. And what that allows you to do is blast the sound a little bit louder. Now you could use a speaker, but typically my girlfriend's sleeping if she has the day off. She's a nurse, as you might know. So that's what I do there. And then the phase 4 is setting the vision. All right. So bear with me here. Okay. So behind me, I have my vision board. And a vision is just so important for life. The analogy I use is this, right? Like if you are on the ship, right? This is without technology, and you're kind of setting the sail. If you don't know where you're going, then you can work as hard as you want and as long as you want, but you could be ending up without a compass. You might be winding up in a totally different place than where you intend to be. With a vision, you have a compass and a direct line to get to your ultimate goal and what you want for your future. So what you see is my 2019 into 2020. I actually created this with my girlfriend, with the help of my girlfriend. And what we did was we put in a bunch of different pictures, and they don't mean anything to you, but they're all very emotionally driven for me and helps me to keep things in perspective. And just really motivates me. So I typically go through as many pictures as I can and just kind of motivate, and I go through a state of appreciation, right? So I'll typically send my family members, just send people love, my family members, my friends, a little bit of love, a morning text. And man, I can't even tell you how impactful this has been. Being in a state of appreciation is just so incredible. And so if you're my friend out there or my family watching, now you know why you get texts at like 7:30 in the morning. So that's pretty much it. And then phase 5 for me is really kind of goal setting and game planning and time blocking. So here's kind of the way I set it up. I think it's so powerful to be able to not only put the time frame, but actually put the task. Putting in a time frame, so I'll be like 7:30 to 8 o'clock. Having that deadline makes all of the difference in the world, because you're setting a deadline for yourself. Oftentimes I set different timers in my phone so that it kind of puts the pressure on me to finish those tasks. And this has allowed me to work so much more efficiently. I can't even begin to tell you, because as you might know, I have a bit of ADD. So I get distracted really freaking easily. So, so not only do I put the time frame, I actually put that exact time frame. So if it's a 30-minute time frame, 15-minute time frame, hour, whatever the time frame is, I actually put it into my calendar, for work or for my personal life. So that's either Google Calendar or Outlook. And that's it. That's pretty much it. So it allows me to stay on track. So I'm putting the things that I want to accomplish and quantifying it into a specific time and a time frame for me to accomplish that. So that's pretty much it. That's my morning routine. Again, this helps me to become successful and gets me focused, gets me energized, gets me motivated for the day. So if you got some value out of this, leave a comment below too if you've tried these different things and how it's impacted your life. And also, if you haven't yet, make that thumbs up blue and subscribe for future content. Thanks so much. Let's open up the comment section for dialogue. I'm looking forward to reading through them and answering any questions that you have. Thanks so much.